The U.S. Central Command has said that a U.S. KC-135 aerial refueling tanker crashed in western Iraq, and that the incident was not caused by hostile or friendly fire. Meanwhile, Iraqi resistance groups have claimed that the aircraft was shot down by a missile.
As far as the question of the school children you talked about is concerned, as I've said, we have issued several statements on the ongoing conflict. We have underlined the need for prioritizing the safety of all civilians. We regret the precious lives lost, and express our grief in that regard.
The New York Times has reported that at least 17 U.S. military sites and installations have been damaged since the war began, with some locations struck multiple times. U.S. military officials have said that the scale and intensity of the retaliatory strikes indicate that Iran was more prepared for the conflict than many in the Trump administration had anticipated. Indian Army's Southern Command is conducting exercise AMOGH JWALA, integrating Indian Air Force assets and attack helicopters with mechanized forces, while validating UAV and counter-UAV operations and multi-domain command and control. The Indian Army's Prachund light combat helicopter has successfully completed a live-firing exercise, demonstrating its precision strike capability and operational readiness in battlefield conditions. Rolls-Royce has proposed collaborating with India to co-develop a family of small and medium turbofan engines based on its Orpheus architecture, adaptable for trainers and unmanned platforms. The Deputy Commanding General of United States Army Pacific met the Chief of Indian Army in New Delhi to discuss strengthening India-US defense cooperation, expanding joint military exercises, and enhancing interoperability between the two armies. Bangalore-based startup Digantara has secured a contract from Thailand's space agency to enhance its space situational awareness capabilities, using AI-enabled space and ground-based sensors to detect and track objects in orbit. The Indian Air Force chief flew a sortie in an upgraded MiG-29 fighter jet from a frontline base under the Indian Air Force's Western Air Command, while reviewing the command's operational preparedness, including infrastructure, crew readiness and maintenance standards. After an 18-month evaluation involving over 600 global competitors, Kerala-based startup Genrobotics Innovation has secured an 80 crore rupees contract from Singapore's Public Utility Board to deploy about 44 Wilbur robots. NewSpace Research and Technologies has released flight test images of its Sheshnag-20 loitering munition, which is a canister-launched autonomous strike drone with around 30 km range, 1-hour endurance and a 5 kg high explosive payload. It is designed for swarm operations against targets such as radars, armored vehicles and logistics nodes. After the recent clearance by the Defense Procurement Board for 60 Ghatak stealth unmanned combat aerial vehicles for the Indian Armed Forces, latest reports indicate that it will use a flying wing airframe made of nearly 80 to 90% composite materials, with resin-infused carbon fiber composites, forming the backbone of its stealth structure to reduce radar signature and improve aerodynamic efficiency. The structure will also incorporate carbon nanotube reinforced epoxy composites and fiber optic structural health monitoring sensors, while high-temperature areas near the engine will use bismulamide composites, capable of withstanding temperatures above 200 degrees Celsius. The Indian Air Force has shown interest in joining France's Future Combat Air System program, and while discussions remain at an early stage, the Indian Navy may also consider participation if Indian Air Force enters the program. However, integrating a sixth-generation fighter into India's existing aircraft carriers could present major engineering challenges, as current estimates suggest the FCAS fighter could weigh around 33 tons at maximum takeoff, significantly heavier than the MiG-29K, making operations of a heavier sixth-generation jet difficult. The Eurodrone program is facing delays and political uncertainty, with its first flight pushed to January 2027, and deliveries unlikely before 2030. France is a core partner in the Eurodrone program alongside Germany, Italy and Spain, and France is now considering withdrawal, calling the 11-ton platform too heavy and expensive, and questioning its survivability in contested airspace. A French exit could add over €700 million in additional costs for the remaining partners. India had joined the program as an observer state, and it gains access to technical insights without financial commitment. Today's top 3 comments.